Thank you, and welcome everybody on this beautiful morning. First item of business is to approve the minutes from the March 14th, 2023 Salary Board meeting. Unless there are changes or corrections, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the same.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Motion has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the first item we have on our agenda is a request from Lisa Kovalik, who's our Redevelopment Authority Director, to create a position of housing specialist and set the salary at $36,000 annually. It's to exist for a 24-month period with the understanding that there is the possibility of future funding. Is there a motion that we create that same position and set the salary at $36,000 a year?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded, all those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Second item on the agenda is a request from the Commissioners to set the salary of the Chief Public Defender in the Public Defender's Office at the sum of $61,000 annually to be effective April 10th, 2023. Is there, and then of course this coincides with the departure of Mr. Bell and some restructuring the office that the Commissioners are doing. Is there a motion that we approve that same salary amount? Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. And finally on the agenda, a request from the Commissioners to set the salary of the Permanent Director of Assessment and Tax Claim effective April 10th, 2023 at $45,000 a year. Is there a motion to the same effect?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. I have nothing else on the agenda. Unless there is something else, I will move, or I will ask for a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn the meeting have been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All righty. Moving right into our Board of Commissioners meeting. We'll dispense with the flag salute because we just did that. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of our previous meeting of March 28th, 2023. Unless there are changes or corrections, is there a motion to approve the same?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next item on the agenda is to approve the bills. Team Controller. Thank you, Rob. Are there questions about the bills, guys? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the same.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I would be remiss if I failed to mention that along with Mr. Edwards is the new Deputy Controller, Andrea Smith, and of course this is the new color coordinated ensemble for the office going forward too. Thank you. Well, welcome, Andrea. Okay, we do have some personnel issues for our consideration today, guys. Under new hires, we have a corrections officer at the Clearfield County Jail effective April 3rd, 2023. Transfers, we have First Assistant Public Defender to the position of Chief Public Defender effective April 10th, 2023. Acting Director of Tax Assessment and Claims and Tax Claims, we would move to the Director of Tax Assessment and Tax Claims effective April 10th, 2023. And also a corrections officer at the jail to part-time status as a corrections officer at the Clearfield County Jail effective April 16th, 2023. And we have two separations, retirements. We have two corrections officers at the Clearfield at the Clearfield County Jail, one effective April 7th, 2023, the next one to be effective April 16th, 2023, and as to number one, April, if I said some other month. I have nothing under family medical leave requests or other requests for leave of absence. Barring some additions that I'm not aware of, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the personnel changes as stated.
Also move. I just want to point out that, we did hire Jendi and Heather to take those two positions, very important positions. And we felt, I think I can speak for all three of us, we feel very confident in those two ladies that those departments are going to be in really good hands. So very fortunate there.
Absolutely. Both have many years of experience in those offices,
Yes.
and they'll certainly bring that experience to those positions. So.
Anyway, I so move.
Thank you. Is there a
Second.
second? Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Is there anyone here for public comment? We do have a good crowd here today, but I don't think anyone's here for public comment. I have nothing under old business, under new.
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I'm
no?
sorry, sir. Excuse me.
Well,
Yes,
He
sir.
was-
Yeah,
he
if
was
you
here
would,
the
please.
last
I
meeting.
apologize, sir. Here,
Mr.
Lombardo.
Maine.
I'm Larry Lumberton.
Yes, Mr. Lombardo, go right ahead.
West Decatur. Just here today to just reiterate that we're desiring to get some reliable Verizon service out our direction. We live in West Decatur. We like Skeetley in that area, and service has been very poor out there. We have no cell service throughout that area. I'd like to see that happen as well. And we have an awful lot of trees on the lines out there that we've been after Verizon, and they seem interested in removing them, but there's lines laying down on the ground. Trees are on top of them. So that's basically why we're here. I've been to Boggs Township's meetings, and going to speak with Dallas Cutler tomorrow, because open house is having. We've been playing phone tag. We're kind of on a little campaign to try to get some things resolved communication-wise.
Thanks, Mr. Lombardo. Very important issue.
And we don't always respond to that, but I do want to say that I was at the Boggs Township meeting last night partially because I'd heard Verizon was going to be there, and of course they didn't show up. So we share your concerns, and we're going to continue to press them to, they have their infrastructure. That's their responsibility, in our view, to maintain that infrastructure. And that's just, I think that's how we see it. So we're with you on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mr. Lombardo, you're right. I was at another municipal meeting last night, and some folks in Graham Township still did not have telephone service as a result of that storm. So you're right. It did cause a lot of havoc throughout the county, and it does need addressed. So you're absolutely right. Thank you. Yes, sir. And forgive me, I didn't see motion me back there, so I apologize. Don't be afraid to holler if I forget to do that. So thank you. All righty, then, again, I don't have anything under old business. Under new business, first item on our agenda is to consider proclaiming April Sexual Assault Awareness Month. May I have Ms. Marlene Austin. Ms. Austin, if you wanted to, if you'd like to take the podium and address the group, you're more than welcome.
You can
Well, I know
just-
you did such a great job
Yeah.
last time, so yeah.
Yeah, I just want to thank the commissioners for bringing this issue, sexual assault and abuse, to light. We really appreciate you guys letting us speak last week. So just bringing this even more to light, I can't thank you enough for attending this.
I think the.
No, you go right ahead.
I was just going to say,
ma'am.
the work that Passages does is vital. I mean, you guys are in multiple counties throughout Pennsylvania, and you only have 9 staff? And
9 staff for 3 counties that we
and
serve.
they do all the rape crisis, like you guys are responding for actual rape crisis at the hospitals, and you guys do confidential counseling for hundreds of people throughout the year. So, I mean,
Right.
that's vital
We
services.
serve over 800 people a year. So it's an issue that I don't think we really think about until it happens to someone that we really care about. So Just those statistics alone are mind-boggling, and those are just the ones that come to us for services. So it's a real issue. It's real in our area. So I just thank you all very much as well.
Of course.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Well, you folks gave a wonderful presentation the last time you were with us. I have before me a draft proclamation that we declare April Sexual Violence Awareness Month. I'm going to read most of it into the record. I won't read some of the verbiage just in the interest of time. This proclamation brings to our attention the widespread issue of sexual violence, not only in our country, but also right here in our communities. These two issues impact every person in Clearfield County in some way. When we speak about sexual violence, whereas it crosses every socioeconomic, educational, religious, ethnic, and cultural background, 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will experience sexual assault or abuse by the age of 18. Whereas we must make this a priority for all of us to work together to educate ourselves and our community members about sexual assault and abuse prevention. Must be a priority to confront this reality here in our communities in Clearfield County. We, the commissioners of Clearfield County, join advocates from Passages Incorporated and communities across the country in taking action to prevent sexual violence. Along with the state of Pennsylvania, we do hereby proclaim April as Sexual Violence Awareness Month. And so I'll ask from the board a motion that we, as has been requested, that we proclaim April Sexual Violence Awareness Month in Clearfield County.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Did the young lady from Passages want to get another picture in the paper?
Sure,
Yeah, come on.
absolutely.
Yeah. You are welcome to stay. I know you're a busy lady, so you certainly don't have to if you don't want to. Okay, let me, guys, if you just give us a second and sign this. Yeah, Mary.
Yeah, we have one for you.
Yeah, we sure do. Thank you. Okay. Well, folks, next on the agenda is also a very important proclamation. You know, whenever we get in trouble, you call for the police, you call for fire, you call for the ambulance, but a very important function of the process of getting help to one and one's family is the work done at our 911 center by the Clearfield County telecommunicators. They have a very important and very unsung job where they coordinate getting you the right type of response, the right amount of response that you need, and doing it as quickly and efficiently and accurately as possible. And so we have been asked to proclaim April 9th to 15th as Telecommunicator Appreciation Week here in Clearfield County. We have with us today Mr. Dave McClure, who's in charge of our 911 office, but I think you're actually representing the EMA side this time, Dave. And Jeremy, our deputy 911 director, Jeremy Ruffner, is also here with us. So, fellas, you have the floor. If you'd like to address the board, please take advantage of the podium. And thank you.
As John said, the week of April 9th through the 15th is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week nationwide and in Clearfield County. And I will give everyone a little overview of what went on last year. I kind of go back to the calendar year. So last year in Clearfield County, we processed 110,864 phone calls in Clearfield County, and made us one of the busiest in the northern tier. Actually, we're second busiest to Erie County in the northern tier. So mainly in part from the interstate traffic that we process and the area that we You know, obviously Clearfield County is a large geographic area, a lot of people living in Clearfield County. And so when you do the math, and that's about 301 calls per day. So I just said a little over 300 calls per day. Now, some days that means that we process 150 calls, and other days that means we process 500 or 600 calls in a day. 2 Saturdays ago, I think they did just a little over 1,100 calls in a 12-hour period. So they can get quite busy, and that was with a staff of 8. They couldn't keep up. But technology has changed. I've been with the department for 18 years. Technology has changed. We now, with our telephone system that we have, we can roll our calls into other counties to help pick up calls. We started taking other people's calls before the birds were still singing here and the sun was still shining, and we started taking other people's calls and realized that it was coming. And by the time we got it, we were taking everybody's calls and our own calls as it started to move across the Commonwealth. So we currently employ 18 full-time telecommunicators, 3 of which are in training process right now. We will be hiring another group of 2 here soon, and we provide dispatch services currently for 10 police, 15 EMS, and 37 fire agencies countywide. We have a really good group right now. We have probably one of the best groups we've had in a while, and we're moving along. Gentlemen, I appreciate it. You guys have a proclamation there in front of you. And John, if you would do me the honor of reading that for me.
Jeremy, I'd be happy to. And speaking for all 3 of us, we're certainly pleased and honored to do so. Whereas the U.S. Congress and the President of the United States have established the second week of April as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, whereas Clearfield County Department of Emergency Services, also known as the 911 Center, is a crucial first contact with those in need of emergency assistance and dispatches appropriate public safety providers or responders who may apprehend a criminal, save possessions from a fire, or save lives. Whereas 911 Center employees are devoted to customer service excellence and a high level of professionalism, and whereas professional telecommunicators are critical to our country's emergency response, dispatching law enforcement, firefighters, emergency medical services, and other emergency responders 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whereas professional telecommunicators are not visible as the men and women who arrive on the scene of emergencies, but do provide the vital link to public safety services as part of the first responder team. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Clearfield County Board of Commissioners, on behalf of all residents of Clearfield County, do hereby proclaim April 9th to 15th, 2023 as Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. And at this point, if I could have a motion that we proclaim April 19th to 15th as Public Safety Telecommunicators Week and execute the proclamation before
So
us.
moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded, all those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now, I didn't mean to end it at that point. Dave, did you wish to say anything?
And I just wanted to point something out that you mentioned there. I know you and Kylie were in. I know you were out of the area, so otherwise he'd have been there. But one thing about both the EMA side and the telecommunicators is when things really get rough, everybody just pitches in. Nobody really talks about, well, that's not my job, and it's really appreciated. And things wouldn't work as well if you guys didn't do that. So, it was noticed and appreciated because I watch weather, and I saw, and I knew, and I talked to you about this, I knew you were going to get calls rolling in from the Western Territory, the Western counties, because they really got pounded. And so you had to deal with all that all morning, and then early afternoon, then we got hit, and then you were dealing with the fallout. So a long day, very long day.
We were the primary backup to Crawford County. And so Crawford is, geographically, is a very similar size to us. Last year, I think they processed about 106,000 phone calls. So as far as being busy, they're very similar in size. Their dispatch staff is very similar. And so we started to take their calls early on. And they really knew that we were going to get pounded because of how many calls we were taking as flowovers from them in the system. The nice thing about it is that by use of technology and our protocols over the years, we've all gone to the same protocol. We use a national protocol, and so the people in Crawford County get the same level of service as the people in Clearfield County. If our calls flow over to Erie County or to Elk County, they still get the same level of service. They see no degradation of services whenever the calls flow over. They don't even know that their call's been answered by somebody in Erie County because it's processed in the same CAD system, computer aided dispatch, and routed right back to us for immediate dispatch. And so there's no time wasted. It used to be you have to pick up the phone, you had to call somebody had to answer the phone. There was a whole bunch of time that was wasted, and that doesn't happen anymore now with technology. So it's really an impressive system.
You took one even from out of state, didn't you? Didn't you say New York? Right. But still, that shows how.
The northern tier, we were also getting calls from that forward to the southwest. There's a still over one west four also
Phyllis, is I know now we have the new, I'm going to say unified police force between Clearfield and Lawrence, Clearfield Borough and Lawrence Township. I know you're going to be transitioning into one with Sandy and Du Bois eventually. How is that? Is that impacting your dispatching process at all, or is it just smooth right in, smooth? Very good.
We had a pretty cohesive plan to put that into place.
Mhm.
We moved them. We took care of it during the day part. The officers that were working that day just went into limbo for about 15 minutes while we moved them around in their agency, and we worked with the state. We have a really good liaison with the state. We worked with the state to move their ORI, and that transition happened without anybody having any idea that we were.
Very good. Okay. Phyllis, you want your picture taken on behalf of the dispatch? Tell the communicators.
Yeah, just if you don't mind.
We also have here with us today Josh Woods. Josh, you're going to talk to us about PennDOT Yellow Dot Program Awareness Declaration. And I guess,
Thank you.
please feel free to join us and make use of the podium.
While he's getting set up, I just want to give a little bit of background here. I had a constituent call me and say, hey, I was reading about this Yellow Dot program. What do you think? And I got on my phone while I was talking to her. I'm like, well, I've never heard of it. And then when I saw it, I'm like, wow, this is great. I called Dave McClure and said, what do you know about this? He said, well, I don't know anything about it, but it sounds really good. So we thought this was a great opportunity to let people know what it is and why it's so important. So, the floor is yours.
Thank you for that intro, and thanks for having me here today to discuss an important issue. First, I just wanted to give a brief introduction to who I am. I'm Josh Woods. I work for Highway Safety Network. We're a nonprofit organization who is grant funded by PennDOT to do traffic safety outreach and education within the footprint of PennDOT's District 2. I want to thank the Board of Commissioners for your continued support in those efforts. It is vital that we educate the public as far as traffic safety is concerned, our students at our schools, our adults, our seniors. So thank you for that support. Thank you to Commissioner Glass for having me out today to talk specifically about the Yellow Dot program. This is a PennDOT program, not a Highway Safety Network program, but it is something that I frequently educate the public about, especially when we're going around to senior centers and things of that nature. So what the Yellow Dot program entails, this is meant for first responders when they come to a crash to be alerted that an individual, a motorist, has information in their glove box that might be vital to their health. So what this is, as a motorist, you can go to yellowdot.pa.gov to order a yellow dot kit. It looks like this. If you order one, there is a place in here for 2 individuals. So if it's a husband and wife situation, or something of that nature, we have 2 adults. There's a place in here for 2 adults. But what this is you get this kit, you fill it out. It has information for first responders. So in here you can put information like any medications you're on, any allergies you have, your hospital preference, your physician's info, your emergency contacts. And again, there's a place in there for 2 individuals to do that in this kit. You fill it out, you put that portion in your glove box. Then there's a yellow dot sticker, hence the name of the program. The sticker's on the inside cover. So take that sticker off and put it on your back windshield, no more than 3.5 inches from the bottom, so that it's not obstructing your view. Well, you'll put that sticker on your windshield, and that alerts first responders to the fact that you have that information in your glove box. So this is intended that if you were to get in a crash, if it's your golden hour of emergency, if it's a severe crash, you're not able to communicate for yourself, all that information will be available at first responders' fingertips. They'll see that sticker, know to get in the glove box, pick up this kit, and they'll have all that information, your hospital preference, your medications, your allergies, any recent surgeries you had, all that stuff is included. So it is a really handy tool, especially for a senior population or even just anyone who's driving, any motorist who may have medical issues or may have medications or allergies, things first responders need to know. It's a really handy tool to let them know in the event you're not able to communicate for yourself. I'd be happy to, it sounds like there's some folks maybe not aware of Yellow Dot. I would be happy to come out and talk to telecommunicators or first responders and kind of go through with them as well, so everyone's on the same page. But yeah, great program, great thing for our community to help save lives and save time. Just as they were talking about with their computer systems and technology, saves time, so does this. So, great program, and be glad to help in any way I can or assist in any way I can.
I assume, I talked to you, I assume you would see value in that too for your folks.
Absolutely. We just both said to each other that the next fire chief meeting, that'd probably be a good presentation to do on that fire chief.
Sure. Yeah, be glad to.
It's amazing when you come up onto a vehicle and people aren't able to communicate with you, the amount of time you waste in trying to ascertain some of that information. And if that was contained in the glove box, you open the glove box up, you'll find all kinds of things, what kind of movie they rented. It's amazing.
Whether they're going to get arrested.
And there are folks, right? And there are folks currently utilizing the program. When I go out and give presentations within the community and senior centers and different places, I had folks come up to me and say, "Yeah, I've got one of these on my windshield." So it is very vital that first responders are aware of the program as well, because there are folks utilizing it.
Thank you, Josh.
Awesome.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
That's really great information.
Josh, don't wander off. Come on back. We're going to, the papers. Yeah, I was thinking, Josh, it's too bad they don't have one of those. Josh, it's too bad they don't have one of these for, you're right, with an older population, so many folks living alone. Too bad they don't have something for a house. Like keep it in the refrigerator. It sounds silly, but just know to go to the refrigerator and look for a booklet like what you have. So. Or the freezer, yeah, whatever. That's a great idea, though. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right, next item, we have for our consideration agreement with MCM Consulting to conduct a commodity flow study for Clearfield County. Dave.
They are not a very exhaustive exercise.
Okay.
They're requesting you execute and approve a professional services agreement with MCM Consulting. It's for them to do approximately 72 hours of work to do a commodity flow study, which is required by Commodity flow studies are basically they're conducted to provide detailed information about the type, quantity, volume, and distribution of hazardous materials that come through the county via rail, pipeline, and on highways. So they will be spending time on the railroads, researching pipelines, and then going in and eventually the total cost for that would be $14,345 with a $2,000 county match. They can spend $10,000 with the hazardous materials and then so the total cost for the county would be $6,345.
Sounds pretty timely considering some of the derailment issues that we've
Yeah.
seen with hazardous materials.
And I
So.
think just on the roadways, they're gonna spend approximately 72 hours, 8 hours per roadway and stuff. And then there'll be a lot of research on all the pipelines and all the railroads that come through the county, everything that comes through.
All right.
Sounds like very important work. Thank you, Ben. I guess, guys, in that case, I will entertain a motion that we execute that agreement with MCM. Excuse me, 1 second. I forgot to check with our solicitor. Did you want to look at it first, Heather?
Yeah. We'll do it. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to approve it pending solicitor's review and approval.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Motion has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, fellas. Now, you are more than welcome to stay, and we certainly love having you with us. But if you know how busy you are, so you certainly don't have to. So thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys. And please give our thanks to the guys and gals at the 911 Center. Say again? Gotcha. Yep. No problem. Okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Guys, the next item is to proclaim April 22nd, 2023 as Earth Day, and the month of April is Earth Month in Clearfield County. Taking a nostalgic trip back into history, the first Earth Day was done in 1970. And the reason I know that from personal experience is I was a student at Clearfield Area High School, and I participated in the first Earth Day program at Clearfield High School. Earth Day, of course, was established so many years ago to enhance our awareness of environmental issues, and also, most importantly, from an educational and a teaching perspective, to make sure folks, particularly young folks, are aware of how important the environment is, and how, particularly in the 21st century, how important environmental issues have become to not just our nation and our state, but also to Clearfield County. We have before us a proclamation that I don't believe I'm going to read today, that we are familiar with, but we will read at the upcoming Earth Day activity at Builders Rocks on the weekend of April 22nd, I believe, of this year. And we are going to, the commissioners are going to participate in the Earth Day cleanup activities at Builders Rocks, for which the Rocks Association, of course, is very appreciative. But I guess in the short run, I would ask that we proclaim April 22nd, 2023 from the board as Earth Day and the month of April as Earth Month in Clearfield County. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I guess as part of that, I should have asked that we also, I think, do we want to execute that on the 22nd, or do we want to sign it today?
Well, we could sign it and then we'll just
Okay,
read
we'll
it
sign
that
We'll
day.
take care of it today.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. The other thing I remember was Paranoid, but Black Sabbath was also sweeping the airwaves about the same time.
Oh,
No,
don't even start
no.
there. Don't go there.
As bad as Ozzy Osbourne sings, he still sings better than I do. Okay, now getting to some more Monday, speaking of some more earthly things. We have before us extension of a purchase of service agreement we have with Mr. Matt Rose, who is helping us in the assessment office and has been most helpful as far as the same. Heather, have you had a chance to take a look at that? And
Yes, I have. Mr. Rose, as you know, he helped us last year. He had departed right before the upset sale, so we had a purchase of service agreement with him to carry through last year's sale. Obviously, with the changes in the tax office, we're still in need of some help, especially with Heather just moving to the new position and that leaving another vacancy in that office. So I have prepared an updated purchase of service agreement to allow him to help the tax office with various tasks, including, for the most part, the upset tax sale. The terms are similar to his prior agreements as far as rate and hours, not to exceed 10 hours per week. So that is what is being considered.
okay, thank you very much. Well, then I'll entertain a motion that we execute that extension of the purchase of service agreement originally done with Matt Rose to continue on this year.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Next item for our consideration is appointment of Mr. Zane Hensel to the Clearfield County Planning Commission to a term to end on December 31st, 2024. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion having properly moved and seconded. All those in favor so signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have some purchase of service agreements for our consideration, one with Community County Services, second one with People Are Us, and finally the Opportunity Atkinson Project. Have you had a chance to review these, Heather?
The Community County Services, it's slightly different than our normal purchase of service agreement, and that's because it's not a placement. They're for psychological counseling services, as well as home studies to be completed with CYS. So we have a separate service agreement that we've been using for those type of providers. They are, I believe, a newer organization that we are starting the contract with, but that agreement is approved as to its form, although slightly different than our standard. The other two agreements, People Are Us and the Opportunity Atkinson Project, those are two new providers. Those are both with CYS and juvenile probation. Unfortunately, we're running into more difficult placements and places that are not willing to accept certain juveniles that are in the custody of either CYS or juvenile probation. So both of these resist additional placement options. So because they're new options, we will backdate it for the last year agreement with them as a couple of new placement terms. But those are both going to be for this month as well.
Okay, thank you. Should we, does it matter whether we approve all three at the same time, or should we do them individually, or do you have an opinion on that? Okay. All right, thank you. All right, well then, first of all, I would ask for a motion that we approve purchase service agreement with Community County Services.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Secondly, the same for People Are Us.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And finally, with Opportunity Atkinson Project.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And lastly, we have a transportation plan with the West Branch School District for our consideration.
And this is similar. We've done this with, I think at this point, we only have one or two outstanding school districts at this point. But the Department of Human Services require us to have a plan in place with all of the school districts. This is to help ensure anyone who is in foster care in Clearfield County is hopefully able to be transported and stay in those same schools. So the transportation plan with West Branch satisfies those requirements, and it's pretty much identical to the other agreements.
Okay, thank you very much. Then I'll entertain a motion that we approve that same transportation plan with the West Branch School District.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Solicitor's report.
Just as a brief update, as I think some calls have been received, but just to update anyone who may have been impacted. Last year in September, we did conduct our upset tax sale. We did recently receive a final approval from the court to distribute those funds. So individuals that may have been waiting on those payments should start receiving paperwork in order to get those funds released to them. So if that has anybody impacted and they have not received certain mailings, contact the tax office if those payments are ready to distribute.
Thank you. I've had a couple calls from folks waiting on it. So thank you very much.
And only update.
Okay. Is there anything else for the good of the order? There being none, I'll entertain a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.